Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance Audiobooks, where crimes have consequences, parents betray their own blood, and fate has plans that override even the harshest judgments. Tonight, I have a story that will shock you at every turn. A tale of a young woman accused of a terrible crime, parents who chose their reputation over their daughter, and a judge who was destined to see the truth beneath the lies. But most of all, it's about discovering that sometimes being offered up for judgment is fate's way of putting you exactly where you need to be. Imagine being accused of murder, of killing a powerful alpha's son. Imagine the evidence pointing to you, the witnesses testifying against you, the entire pack calling for your execution. Now imagine your own parents, the ones who should defend you, protect you, believe in you, offering you up for judgment, volunteering you for trial, choosing their social standing over your life. And imagine standing before the high alpha judge, the most powerful wolf in the kingdom, waiting for him to condemn you to death, waiting for the sentence everyone expects. But instead, he looks at you and sees something no one else does, recognizes something that changes everything. Because fate chose you long before your parents betrayed you. So settle in close, my dreamers. This is a story about the worst betrayals and the best destinies, about being judged by those who matter and saved by those meant to find you, and about learning that sometimes your darkest moment is fate's way of bringing you home. This is The Fated Criminal. Prologue. The Offering. My name is Thea, and my parents are about to sacrifice me. Not literally, not with knives and altars, but they might as well be. We have no choice, my father says, not meeting my eyes. The evidence is overwhelming. You were found at the scene. Your scent is everywhere. The victim's blood is on your clothes. Because I tried to help him, I found him dying and tried to save him. That's what you claim. But the pack sees a murderer. The victim's family demands justice. And we... He stops, swallows. We can't protect you from this. Won't protect me, I correct bitterly. You could defend me, hire an advocate, fight for me. But you won't, because it's easier to throw me to the wolves than risk your precious reputation. My mother speaks up, her voice cold. We're offering you for official judgment. You'll be tried by the high alpha judge. If you're innocent, he'll see it. If you're guilty... She doesn't finish. If I'm guilty, I'll be executed, publicly, brutally, as an example. I didn't kill him, I say for the 1000th time. I didn't kill Garrett. I tried to save him. I'm being framed. Then prove it at trial. Convince the judge. But we can't. We won't stand with you against the evidence. We have other children to think about, a reputation to maintain, a position in the pack to protect. Other children, my siblings, who matter more than I do, who deserve protection while I deserve judgment. So you're offering me up, giving me to the high judge like a criminal, like I'm guilty before trial. We're giving you the chance for fair judgment, my father says. But his eyes tell the truth. He thinks I'm guilty. They both do. Tomorrow I'll be taken to the high court, tried before the most powerful alpha in the kingdom, judged for a murder I didn't commit, and my parents will watch, will testify against me if asked, will choose their standing over my life. I'm alone, abandoned, condemned, or so I think. What I don't know is that fate has been planning this moment for years, that the high alpha judge is my fated mate, that walking into that courtroom will change everything, that my parents, in offering me for judgment, are actually offering me to my destiny. I just don't know it yet. Chapter 1. The crime, 2 weeks before. The party. The party was at the Blackwood estate, Alpha Garrett Blackwood's 25th birthday celebration. The entire pack was invited. You should go, my mother said. Be social, make connections. The Blackwoods are important. I don't really know Garrett. Then get to know him. He's heir to the pack, single, available. You could do worse than catching his attention. I went to the party, not to catch Garrett's attention, but because refusing would have sparked my mother's wrath. Garrett was everything an alpha heir should be: handsome, powerful, charming, surrounded by admirers. "Thea, isn't it?" he said when we were introduced. "Marcus and Helena's daughter?" "Yes, happy birthday." "Thank you for coming. You look beautiful tonight." Standard party flattery. I smiled and moved on. Didn't think much of it. That was my first mistake. The unwanted attention. "You made an impression," my friend Sarah said later. "Garrett can't stop looking at you. He's just being polite." "That's not a polite look. That's an interested look. A hunting look." "I'm not interested in Garrett. He seems—" I struggled for words. "Intense. Too intense. He's an alpha. They're all intense. But he's rich, powerful, heir to the pack. You could do a lot worse." But I didn't want Garrett. Something about him felt wrong. Off. Dangerous in a way that had nothing to do with alpha power. "Thea," Garrett approached me later. "Dance with me?" "I'm not much of a dancer." "Then I'll teach you." He took my hand. Not asking. Commanding. The dance was uncomfortable. He held me too close, moved too intimately, whispered things that made my skin crawl. "You're special, Thea. Different from other she-wolves. I want to know you better." "That's kind, but have dinner with me. Tomorrow. Just the two of us." "I don't think that's a good idea." His hand tightened on my waist, painful, threatening. "I'm not asking. I'm telling. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Don't refuse me." "You're hurting me." "Then agree. Stop making this difficult." "Fine. Tomorrow, 7. Now let me go." He released me, smiled, like nothing had happened. "Perfect. I'll pick you up." I fled the party, went home shaking. Something was very wrong with Garrett Blackwood. The stalking. After the party, Garrett became obsessive, called constantly, showed up at my work, demanded attention. "Why didn't you answer my calls?" "I was busy." "Too busy for me? That's insulting. I'm an alpha heir. You should be grateful for my attention." "I'm not interested, Garrett. I'm sorry, but I don't want to date you." His expression darkened. "You don't get to reject me. No one rejects me. You'll come around. They always do." "I won't. Please leave me alone." "You're playing hard to get." "I like that. Makes the chase more interesting." "I'm not playing anything. I'm genuinely not interested. Leave me alone." But he didn't. He escalated. Followed me. Sent gifts. Made threats disguised as promises. "You'll be mine, Thea. Eventually. One way or another." I went to my parents. "Garrett is stalking me. I need help. Protection." "Stalking? Don't be dramatic. He's interested. That's flattering." "It's terrifying. He won't take no for an answer. He's threatening me. He's an alpha heir expressing interest. You should be grateful. Many she-wolves would kill for his attention." "I don't want his attention. I want him to leave me alone." "Then you're a fool. The Blackwoods are powerful. Garrett would be an excellent mate. Stop playing hard to get and accept his courtship." They didn't help. Didn't believe me. Didn't protect me. I was alone, with an obsessive alpha heir who wouldn't accept rejection. 2 weeks before, the threat. "I'm done being patient," Garrett told me, cornering me outside my workplace. "You've had your fun. Time to accept what's inevitable." "There's nothing inevitable about this. I don't want you. I'll never want you. Leave me alone." "You don't mean that. You're just confused, scared of the bond we'll share. But I'll show you. I'll make you understand that you're mine." "I'm not yours." "You will be. And if you keep refusing," his smile was cruel, "well, accidents happen. Reputations get destroyed. Families suffer consequences. It would be a shame if something happened to yours." "Are you threatening my family?" "I'm promising you a future, as my mate, willingly or not. Your choice. But choose wisely. I won't be patient much longer." He left, and I was left shaking. terrified, trapped. I couldn't go to the authorities. Garrett's father was Alpha. Who would believe me over the air? I couldn't go to my parents. They'd already dismissed my concerns. I was trapped, with an alpha heir who'd made it clear he'd have me one way or another. The night of the murder. The night Garrett died started with a message. Meet me at the old mill, midnight. Come alone. I have evidence of Garrett's stalking. Evidence that will protect you. It was from an unknown number. But I was desperate. Desperate enough to take the risk. I went to the mill. Old, abandoned, creepy in the moonlight. "Hello?" I called. "Is anyone here?" No response. Just silence. And the smell of blood. I found him in the back room. Garrett. Bleeding. Dying. Throat torn out. "Garrett, oh my gods, what happened?" I knelt beside him. Tried to stop the bleeding. Tried to help. He looked at me. Reached for me. Gurgled something I couldn't understand. Then he died. Right there. In my arms. His blood soaking my clothes. "No, no, no, don't die. Stay with me." But he was gone. Dead. Murdered. And I was covered in his blood. "Murderer!" I turned. Garrett's father, Alpha Blackwood, stood in the doorway, witnesses behind him, all staring at me kneeling over his dead son. I found him like this. I tried to help. Liar, you killed my son. Murdered him in cold." "No, I got a message. Someone told me to come here. A message no one else saw. From a number that doesn't exist. Convenient." Alpha Blackwood's voice was deadly. "You're covered in his blood. Your scent is everywhere. You were the last one with him. You murdered him." "I didn't. I swear. Someone set me up." But no one believed me. The evidence was overwhelming. I was at the scene, covered in blood. My scent everywhere. My fingerprints on the body. I was arrested, charged with murder, condemned before trial. And my parents, when they heard, didn't defend me, didn't believe me, didn't even try to help. They abandoned me, chose their reputation over their daughter, offered me up for judgment like I was already guilty. Chapter 2. The Betrayal, the Interrogation. "Tell us what happened," the pack enforcer demanded. "Why did you kill Garrett Blackwood?" "I didn't kill him. I was set up." "You were found at the scene, covered in his blood. Your scent all over the crime scene. Explain that." "I got a message telling me to meet someone at the mill. Someone who claimed to have evidence of Garrett's stalking. When I got there, he was already dying. I tried to help him. That's why I'm covered in blood. This supposed message. Show it to us." I pulled out my phone. The message was gone. Deleted. Like it had never existed. "It was here. I swear it was here." Convenient that it disappeared. "I'm being framed. Someone killed Garrett and set me up." "Why would someone frame you?" Because, how did I explain without sounding paranoid? Garrett was obsessed with me, stalking me, threatening me. I rejected him repeatedly. Maybe someone knew that. Used it to frame me for his murder. Or maybe you killed him because he wouldn't leave you alone. Couldn't take the rejection. Decided to eliminate the problem. That's not what happened. Then what did happen? Tell us the truth. I am telling you the truth. I'm innocent. But they didn't believe me. The evidence was too damning. The circumstances too suspicious. I was moved from enforcer holding to pack jail, awaiting formal charges, awaiting trial, awaiting my parents' response. The parental visit, my parents visited 3 days after my arrest. I thought they'd come to support me, to help me, to defend me. I was wrong. "Thea," my father said, his voice cold, "we've come to discuss your situation. Thank the moon goddess. I need help. I need an advocate. Someone who believes me." "We've reviewed the evidence," my mother interrupted. "It's overwhelming. You were found at the scene, covered in blood. Your story about a mysterious message. It's unbelievable. But it's the truth. I was set up. Or you killed him. Our daughter. A murderer. The word hit like a slap. I'm not a murderer. I'm innocent. How can you believe I'd do this? How can we not? The evidence is conclusive. The pack is calling for your execution. The Blackwoods are demanding justice. And you're just going to give me to them? Your own daughter? We have other children to think about. A reputation to maintain. If we defend you, if we stand with you against this evidence, we'll be destroyed along with you. Our family will be ruined. Your siblings will suffer. So you're abandoning me, choosing them over me, choosing your reputation over my life. We're being realistic, my father said. You're facing execution. Nothing we do will change that. Why should we all burn? Because I'm your daughter. Because you should believe in me. Because family means something. Family means protecting the majority. You're one. Your siblings are 3. The math is simple. I couldn't breathe, couldn't process. My parents, my own parents, were condemning me. There's going to be a trial, my mother said, before the high alpha judge, the most powerful alpha in the kingdom. He'll determine your fate. Then defend me at trial, testify to my character, tell them I'm not capable of murder. We won't be testifying for you. We'll be offering you for judgment, officially presenting you for trial. It's better this way. Shows we're cooperating, that we're not defending a murderer. I'm not a murderer. Then prove it to the judge. But we won't risk our family defending you. I'm sorry, Thea, but this is how it has to be. They left. Just left me there. Abandoned. Betrayed. Alone. My own parents had chosen their other children, their status, their reputation, over me. I'd never felt more alone in my life. The formal charges. 2 days later, formal charges were filed. Murder in the 1st degree. Premeditated killing of an alpha heir. Penalty, death by execution. Public. Painful. As an example to others. You're being transferred to High Court, the enforcer told me. Your trial will be before High Alpha Judge Ezra Nightborn. He's the final authority on capital crimes. When? 3 days. Your parents have formally offered you for judgment. The High Court has accepted the case. Offered for judgment. Like I was a sacrifice. Like I was already guilty. Do I get an advocate? Someone to defend me? You can request one, but given the evidence, most won't take your case. You're as good as convicted already. I'm innocent. Tell that to the judge. Maybe he'll believe you, though I doubt it. I was transported to High Court, a massive complex where the kingdom's most serious crimes were tried, where the High Alpha Judge presided over life and death. You'll be held here until trial, the guard said, leading me to a cell. 3 days, then you face judgment. 3 days until I faced the most powerful alpha in the kingdom. 3 days until my fate was decided. 3 days until I was likely sentenced to death. I'd never been more terrified in my life. Chapter 3. The High Alpha Judge. Ezra's perspective. My name is Ezra Nightborn. I'm 32 years old, High Alpha Judge of the Northern Kingdom, the final authority on capital crimes and interpack disputes. I've held this position for 5 years, sentenced hundreds of wolves, executed dozens, mediated countless conflicts. I'm known for being fair but harsh, just but uncompromising. I don't tolerate criminals, don't accept excuses, don't show mercy to the undeserving. I'm also unmated, despite being of age for 10 years, despite every pack in the kingdom offering their daughters, despite numerous attempts to find my fated mate. She doesn't exist. Or if she does, fate hasn't revealed her. I've accepted being alone, accepted ruling without a mate, accepted that my destiny is justice, not love, until I walk into the courtroom and smell her. The scent, the murder trial of Thea Moonwhisper was supposed to be routine, open and shut. She'd been found at the scene, covered in the victim's blood, evidence overwhelming. I'd read the file, reviewed the evidence, expected a quick trial, a guilty verdict, an execution scheduled. Then I walked into the courtroom and everything changed. Her scent hit me like lightning. Jasmine and moonlight and something uniquely her. The scent of my fated mate. Impossible. The defendant was my fated mate. The she-wolf accused of murdering an alpha heir was the one fate had chosen for me. I stopped, stared, tried to process. She was beautiful, even terrified, even pale and shaking in chains. Dark hair, violet eyes, delicate features that belonged to someone innocent, not a murderer. And the bond. Oh gods, the bond. Snapping into place, connecting us, making her mine on a level deeper than choice. Mate, my wolf howled. Our mate. Protect her. Save her. She's ours. But she was also accused of murder, of killing an alpha heir, of a crime that carried a death sentence. How could fate be so cruel? To give me a mate condemned to execution. The conflict. Your Honor? The court clerk noticed my hesitation. Are you all right? I'm fine. Begin the proceedings. But I wasn't fine. I was staring at my fated mate, trying to reconcile the bond with the charges, trying to figure out how to handle this impossible situation. The kingdom charges Thea Moonwhisper with murder in the first degree, the prosecutor announced. The killing of Garrett Blackwood, alpha heir of the Blackwood pack. The evidence is overwhelming. We seek the maximum penalty, death by execution. Thea flinched, chains rattling, eyes downcast, terrified. Through the bond, newly formed, barely acknowledged, I felt her emotions. Terror, desperation, innocence, innocence. My mate was innocent. I could feel it through the bond, feel her truth, her honesty, her genuine belief that she didn't commit this crime. But the evidence said otherwise, and I was a judge. I couldn't rule based on feelings, on bonds, on what I wanted to be true. I had to rule based on evidence, law, justice, even if it meant sentencing my own mate to death. The trial begins. How does the defendant plead? I asked, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Thea looked up, met my eyes, and I saw the moment she felt it too. The bond, the recognition, the impossible connection. Her violet eyes went wide, shocked, confused, hopeful. Not guilty, Your Honor, she whispered. I didn't kill him. I'm innocent. The evidence suggests otherwise, but that's why we have trials, to determine truth. I looked at the prosecutor. Present your case. The prosecutor was efficient, ruthless, presented overwhelming evidence. The defendant was found at the scene, kneeling over the victim, covered in his blood. Her scent was everywhere, her fingerprints on the body. Witnesses saw her there. No one else was present. What's your explanation, defendant? I asked Thea. I received a message telling me to meet someone at the mill, someone who claimed to have evidence of Garrett's stalking behavior. When I arrived, he was already dying. I tried to help him. That's why I was covered in blood. This message, can you produce it? It was deleted, from my phone, remotely. I swear it existed, but it's gone now. Convenient, the prosecutor said. A message no one can verify. Deleted by unknown means. And we're supposed to believe this over the physical evidence? I'm telling the truth, Thea insisted, looking at me desperately. I was set up. Someone killed Garrett and framed me for it. Why would someone frame you? I asked. Because Garrett was obsessed with me, stalking me, threatening me. I rejected him repeatedly. Maybe someone knew that. Used it to make me look guilty. Do you have proof of this stalking? Reports filed? Witnesses to corroborate? No. I told my parents, but they didn't believe me. I didn't file reports because Garrett's father is alpha. Who would believe me over him? The prosecutor jumped on that. So, you have no evidence of stalking? No witnesses? No reports? Just your word that the victim was harassing you, and we're supposed to believe you were being stalked by a wolf you then murdered? I didn't murder him. Then explain the evidence. Explain your presence at the scene. Explain his blood on your hands. Explain why you were the only one there when he died. I can't explain it because I don't understand it. I'm being framed. The parental testimony. The worst part came when Thea's parents testified against her. Do you believe your daughter is capable of murder? The prosecutor asked. We don't want to believe it, her father said. But the evidence is overwhelming. We can't ignore facts because of blood relation. Have you noticed any concerning behavior? Anything that might suggest violent tendencies? She's always been difficult, stubborn, rebellious, prone to dramatic claims for attention. Thea's face crumbled. Her own father was painting her as unstable, unreliable, guilty. And her claims about Garrett Blackwood stalking her, the prosecutor continued, unsubstantiated. She claimed he was interested in her, that he wouldn't leave her alone, but we saw no evidence, thought she was exaggerating, seeking attention. So you don't believe she was being stalked? We believe she rejected a very eligible alpha heir and now regrets the consequences. Mother, father, please, Thea whispered. You know me. You know I wouldn't. We know the evidence, her mother said coldly, and it condemns you. We're sorry, Thea, but we can't defend the indefensible. They left the stand, didn't look back, abandoning their daughter in the worst possible way. Through the bond, I felt Thea's heartbreak, her devastation, her absolute abandonment. My mate's own parents had betrayed her, offered her up for judgment without even trying to defend her. It made me furious, made me want to rage at them, to punish them for their cruelty. But I was a judge. I had to remain impartial, even when every instinct screamed to protect my mate. Chapter 4. The investigation, the recess. We'll recess for the day, I announced after the parental testimony. Resume tomorrow morning. I needed time to think, to investigate, to figure out if my mate was truly guilty or if something else was happening. Your Honor, my clerk said as I returned to chambers, the evidence is overwhelming. This should be a quick verdict. Maybe, but something feels wrong. I need to review everything personally. You never personally review cases. You trust the prosecutors. This case is different. I'm reviewing it myself. Get me all the evidence, all the witness statements, everything. That night, I went through the file meticulously, looking for inconsistencies, for holes, for anything that suggested Thea was telling the truth. The message she claimed to receive. It had been deleted, but a deletion leaves traces. I had my tech expert examine her phone. There was a message, the expert confirmed, sent from a burner number. Deleted remotely within minutes of her arriving at the mill. Someone wanted her there. Someone who knew how to cover their tracks. That supported Thea's story. She had received a message, had been lured to the scene. But why? Who would kill Garrett and frame Thea? The stalking claims, I investigated Thea's claims about Garrett's stalking, found no official reports. But I dug deeper, asked around, talked to wolves who knew them both. Garrett was obsessed with her, one she-wolf admitted. Wouldn't stop talking about her, about how she'd be his eventually, how she just didn't know it yet. Did he ever threaten her? Not explicitly, but the way he talked, it was intense, possessive, like she was already his and just didn't realize it. More wolves confirmed it. Garrett had been fixated on Thea, had pursued her aggressively, had refused to accept rejection. He said something weird at his birthday party, another wolf told me. Said that Thea would be his one way or another, that he always got what he wanted. It was creepy. The stalking was real. Thea hadn't been lying. Garrett had been harassing her, and her parents had dismissed it. The evidence re-examination. I re-examined the physical evidence, the crime scene, the body, the blood patterns. This doesn't match her story, I told my forensic expert. If she found him dying and tried to help, the blood pattern should be different. This looks like she was kneeling over him for several minutes, like she was there when he died. which matches her story of trying to help. But it doesn't match the prosecutor's theory that she killed him. If she'd killed him, the blood pattern would be different. More spatter, different angles. You're right. The physical evidence actually supports her claim that she found him dying and tried to help. Then why is everyone convinced she's guilty? Because she was the only one there. Because her scent was everywhere. Because there's no evidence of anyone else. Or whoever killed him was very good at covering their tracks, at framing her, at making it look like she was the only one present. I spent 3 days investigating, re-examining, questioning, and I reached a conclusion. Thea was innocent, being framed, set up by someone skilled enough to make it look airtight. But proving her innocence beyond the physical evidence, that was harder. The bond confession. On the 4th night, I visited Thea in her cell, against protocol, against every rule I had about impartiality, but she was my mate, and I needed to hear her story, needed to understand what happened. "Your Honor," she said, shocked to see me, "you shouldn't be here. It's inappropriate. I'm aware, but I need to talk to you, off the record, as myself, not as the judge." "Why? To get a confession? To trick me into admitting something?" "No, to understand. I've been investigating, re-examining evidence, and I believe you. I believe you're innocent." Her eyes filled with tears. "You do? Why? Everyone else thinks I'm guilty. My own parents think I'm guilty." "Because the evidence doesn't support the prosecutor's theory. Because I've found proof Garrett was stalking you. Because my instincts, which are usually right, tell me you're telling the truth." "Thank you. You don't know what it means to hear someone say they believe me. There's something else you should know." I took a breath. "Do you feel it? The bond between us?" She nodded slowly. "Since I first saw you in the courtroom, it's the mate bond, isn't it? You're my fated mate." "Yes, which makes this situation impossibly complicated. I'm supposed to judge you impartially, but you're my mate. I can feel your emotions through the bond, feel your innocence, your truth. What does this mean? For the trial? It means I'm going to find who really killed Garrett. I'm going to prove your innocence, and then, if you'll have me, I'm going to claim you properly, as my mate, as my equal. But I'm accused of murder. I'm facing execution. How can you? Because you're innocent. Because I believe you. Because fate chose you for me. And I don't question fate." Chapter 5. The truth revealed the real killer. Finding the real killer required thinking like a criminal. Who benefited from Garrett's death? Who had motive and opportunity? I investigated everyone connected to Garrett, his family, his friends, his rivals, and I found it. The connection I'd been looking for. Garrett had a brother, younger, overlooked, always in his shadow. "Garrett Blackwood," I said to my investigator. "Garrett's younger brother. What do we know about him?" "He was always jealous of Garrett, resented being second, resented that Garrett would inherit everything while he got nothing. Where was he the night of the murder? He claims he was home, alone, no witnesses. Investigate him, thoroughly. I think he killed his brother and framed Thea." The investigation revealed everything. Damien had purchased a burner phone, had sent the message to Thea, had lured her to the mill. "He killed Garrett before she arrived," my investigator explained. "Timed it so she'd find the body. Staged the scene to make her look guilty. Why frame Thea specifically? Because Garrett was obsessed with her. Everyone knew it. It gave her motive. Made the frame believable. Find me proof, hard proof, enough to convict him instead of her. My investigator found it. Security footage showing Damien near the mill. Phone records connecting him to the burner number. A witness who saw him arguing with Garrett earlier that day. "I should have been heir," the witness heard Damien shout. "I'm smarter, stronger, better. But you get everything just because you were born first. Garrett threatened to expose some crime Damien had committed, the witness continued. Said he'd tell their father, that Damien would be disowned. That's why Damien killed him, to silence him and take his place. I had my killer. Had my proof. Had everything I needed to free my mate. The reversal. The trial resumed with a shock. I have new evidence, I announced. Evidence that exonerates the defendant and identifies the real killer. The courtroom erupted. Thea stared at me with hope and disbelief. I presented everything. The phone records, the witness testimony, the security footage, the motive. Garrett Blackwood killed his brother, framed Thea Moonwhisper to cover his crime. She's innocent, and Damien is under arrest for murder. Damien was in the courtroom, tried to run, was caught by guards. "This is ridiculous," he shouted. "I'm being framed, just like she framed my brother. You sent the message that lured her to the mill. We have proof. You killed Garrett. We have witnesses. You framed an innocent she-wolf. We have all the evidence. You're done." He broke, confessed everything. How he'd killed Garrett, framed Thea, tried to take his brother's place. I deserved to be heir. I was better, smarter. He was going to ruin me. I had no choice. You had many choices. You chose murder. You chose to frame an innocent wolf. You chose wrong. And now you face the consequences. I turned to Thea. Thea Moonwhisper, you are hereby exonerated of all charges, found innocent, free to go. She collapsed, crying, relieved, free. However, I continued, your parents, Marcus and Helena Moonwhisper, you offered your daughter for judgment, testified against her, abandoned her when she needed you most. That requires consequences. Her parents went pale. You are stripped of pack standing, banned from holding any official position, and required to publicly apologize to your daughter for your betrayal. This court does not tolerate parents who sacrifice their children for reputation. Your Honor, please. This is mercy. Be grateful I'm not charging you with criminal neglect. Now apologize to your daughter, publicly, sincerely. They did. Awkwardly, insincerely. But they did it. Thea didn't acknowledge them. Just stood. Free. Vindicated. Alive. The claim. After the trial, I brought Thea to my private chambers. You're free, I said. Innocent. Vindicated. You can go anywhere. Do anything. Your life is yours again. Thanks to you. You investigated. Found the truth. Saved me. I did what any judge should do. Found the truth. Ensured justice. You did more than that. You believed me when everyone else thought I was guilty. You fought for me when even my parents abandoned me. You saved me. Because you're my mate. Because fate chose you. Because I stopped. Because what? Because I love you. I've known you less than a week. But I love you. Not just because of the bond. Because of you. Your strength. Your honesty. Your refusal to confess to something you didn't do. You're extraordinary. I love you too. Is that crazy? To love someone after a week? After meeting in a courtroom where I was on trial for my life? If it's crazy, we're both insane. But I don't care. You're my mate, my fated one. And I want to claim you properly. Not as a judge saving a defendant, but as a male claiming his destined mate. Then claim me. I'm yours. I've been yours since the moment I walked into that courtroom and felt the bond. I kissed her then. Finally. Properly. Claiming my mate after the strangest courtship in history. Your parents offered you for judgment, I said. They meant it as abandonment. But they actually offered you to me. To your fate. To your destiny. Fate knew what it was doing. Putting me in that courtroom. In front of you. Giving me a mate who'd fight for my innocence. Fate always knows. We just have to trust it. Epilogue. 2 years later. The High Court ceremony celebrated 2 years since Thea's exoneration. 2 years since we'd bonded. 2 years of partnership and love. Do you ever regret it? I asked her as we prepared for the ceremony. Being offered for judgment? Being tried for murder? The worst week of your life leading to this? No, because it led to you, to us, to this life. She gestured around the High Court chambers, now ours. I'm Luna of the High Court, mate to the most powerful judge in the kingdom, mother to our daughter, happy, loved, free. Our daughter, Hope, was 1 year old, named for what Thea represented. Hope that justice prevails, hope that innocence wins, hope that fate knows what it's doing. Your parents requested an audience, I mentioned. Want to see you, to apologize properly. I'm not ready. Maybe someday, but not yet. They offered me for judgment, abandoned me, chose reputation over my life. That's not forgiven easily. Understood. They'll wait. Or they won't. Either way, you're not obligated to forgive them. Thank you. For understanding. For supporting me. For being the mate my parents should have been. Loyal, believing, protective. Always. You're my mate, my love, my Luna. I'll always protect you. Always believe in you. Always choose you. The ceremony was beautiful. Wolves from all over the kingdom gathered to celebrate, to honor the Luna who'd been tried for murder and emerged vindicated, who'd been offered for judgment and found her destiny instead. Luna Thea, an elder said during the ceremony, you were accused unjustly, tried unfairly, offered for judgment by your own parents. How did you survive? By believing in my innocence, by trusting that truth would prevail, by holding on to hope even when everything seemed lost, and by being fortunate enough to have a mate who fought for me when no one else would. What would you say to others facing false accusations, facing judgment, facing abandonment? I'd say truth is stronger than lies. Justice may be delayed, but it prevails. And sometimes being offered for judgment is fate's way of putting you exactly where you need to be, with exactly who you're meant to find. Later, in our private chambers, Thea reflected on the journey. 2 years ago, I was in chains, facing execution, abandoned by everyone, certain I'd die. And now? Now I'm free, loved, protected, mated to the male fate chose for me, mother to our daughter, living a life I never imagined possible. Your parents meant to sacrifice you. Instead, they delivered you to your destiny. Exactly. They thought they were offering me for judgment. But fate knew better. Fate was offering me to you, to my mate, to my future. Fate always knows, even when we don't. Do you think they regret it? My parents? Offering me up? Abandoning me? Probably. They lost you. Lost connection with their grandchild. Lost status when I stripped their pack standing. Yes, they regret it. But that's their burden to carry. I hope they learn. I hope other parents see what happened and choose differently. Choose their children over reputation. Choose faith over fear. Your story will teach them. The Luna who was offered for judgment and became queen. The she-wolf who was condemned and found salvation. It's powerful. And it was. Our story became legend. The tale of a she-wolf falsely accused, parents who betrayed her, and a judge who recognized his mate even when she stood before him in chains. Looking at Thea, my mate, my Luna, my love, I was grateful. Grateful her parents had offered her for judgment. Grateful fate had been planning this all along. Grateful for every moment that led her to my courtroom. Because sometimes the worst betrayals lead to the best destinies. Sometimes being offered for judgment means being offered to fate. Sometimes your darkest hour is when your greatest light begins to shine. Thea had been offered for judgment, and fate had accepted, had placed her exactly where she needed to be, with exactly who she was meant to find. with me, her mate, her protector, her judge who became her savior. And I'd spend the rest of my life grateful that fate chose us, that her parents, in their betrayal, actually delivered her to her destiny. That being offered for judgment became the greatest gift she never knew she needed. Closing. And there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Thea and Ezra, proof that false accusations can be overcome. Parental betrayal reveals who truly loves you, and sometimes being offered for judgment is fate's way of bringing you home. Did this story move you? Did you feel Thea's fear and vindication? Did you believe in Ezra's investigation? Then show me some love. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me what you think about parents who abandon their children, and subscribe to Luna's Romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of justice and destiny. I want to know, would you have forgiven your parents after they offered you for judgment? Would you have trusted a judge who claimed to be your fated mate? Would you have kept faith in your innocence? Tell me in the comments. Until next time, my dreamers, may your false accusations be revealed, your betrayers face consequences, and your fated mates recognize you even in chains. This is Luna, signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.